This is the last regular season match versus the South Beach Palms and Atlanta Wild. Let's see it.
Stand by.
And they're off. David McKellar for the Atlanta Wild, Edgar Cancine for the Palms, both of them with amazing transitions. And the Palms are coming off a losing season. They have not won a match yet, but they are going against people that are not in their division, and they are not going to the playoffs. Both of these teams are not going to the playoffs, so they know that this is essentially just for who's going to lose more, you know? So you definitely want to end the season on a high note. So since this is the last match they're going to play in, it definitely means a lot to both of these teams. Now, the Atlanta Wild, they're coming off a really tough season, right? They were the 2024 championship team, and for them to come in and have one of the losingest records in the league, if not the losingest, is really tough. So going into this, they're definitely the underdogs, especially for the fight that the Palms gave yesterday and the fire that was lit under them from Barley Hansen coming back. But it looks like the Wild are ahead for now.
Yeah, and this season's been very tough, just like you just mentioned, Cass, for both squads. The Palms haven't been to the championship yet, but they're known to be more of a feisty and gritty team, and they pushed the Lions all the way down to the sprint relay yesterday, even though Coach Riley mentioned that they were just going to be practicing and working on transitions, but they came very, very close to making today a little bit more interesting for the Lions. And then of the Wild, on the other hand, they lost a lot of athletes. I want to say maybe 11 athletes last year, and so this year is definitely a rebuilding squad, but it doesn't show the heart that they had. But they had a little bit of fire yesterday with Amanda Fisher. They're one of their captains from last year, one of the heartbeats from the team, who brought in a much necessary spark for the team.
Definitely. It looks like they're faulting out for the Wild here. They were not touching, Mixa was not touching her chest all the way to the ground, but she kind of figured it out there at the end. But they lost their lead for sure. Both of them are at the dumbbells pretty much at the exact same time. That's Brett Henry for the Palms, and that was Matt Cable for the Wild. They're just about neck and neck now. This partner forward is getting exciting.
Yeah, and so I think with the Wild, they have been unfortunately plagued with a lot of injuries all season long. So I think their focus today, especially knowing that there's nothing really on the line as far as the playoff spot is concerned, is making sure that everybody finishes the day clean and without any kind of injuries.
Yeah, definitely, and that's important to note, especially because two of the injuries were on the grid. A few of their players were feeling a lot of the intensity during the grid match, so it was definitely a tough one.
Yeah, and so I'm up there looking at Matt Cable. He is one of our thicker boys, so his overhead mobility really isn't the best over there, but he still makes great work of it. And I'm looking at just Pacicia on the Palm side. She made easy work of those overhead squats.
Definitely, they're just about rep for rep. The Palms with a slight lead going into this. Vilma Gray finishing off those box jumps. Jess Placentia faulting out from falling. Oh, Matt Cable actually faulted, and they were unable to start because he wasn't in the right spot. Vilma confused about what she has to do. Jess Placentia is going for the jump again, and the Palms are going to finish ahead.
Oh, there's a lot of faults. So the first thing. What
is going on here?
Oh man. So the first thing was with the Wild that Coach Vilma Gray was up there getting faulted, but I don't think Matt Cable was in the right box, so those refs did not count over there. I'm not quite sure what Jess was getting faulted for over there, but there was a lot of issues that happened on both sides. But overall, the Palms will finish that one ahead of the Wild.
Yeah, it looks like it's an interesting dynamic here between the two teams. It looks like the Palms are going to take that partner forward. It looks like Amanda Fisher is playing today. I thought she was a single-day sign for yesterday, but I guess we'll find out in a few minutes exactly how that's going to work. In the meantime, we're having a blast out here in the grid. Don't forget to comment down below where you are watching from, but let's get into what everybody wants to see. They want to see us use this pen. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rosters. We're looking at the South Beach Palms. Of course, I'm looking at Briley Henson, and I did get my pen fixed. All right. Corey Hendon is not here. I hate to cross you out, Corey, but I'm sure we'll see you again next season. I'm looking at Loredana Nirola to do a little bit of the gymnastics, and Tyler Davis is not playing this match. He will be changed out for Dmitry Kakanovic. Spoke to him earlier. He's excited to play for the Palms here.
And I'm going to be looking at Bailey Yarborough. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. I'm up there. Please forgive me. Give me grace. I'm going to get these names right. And then I'm also going to be looking at, of course, Jess Valencia. So definitely for the barbell work, you saw that, especially in the echoes, it's going to come down to the athletes, whoever have the stronger women, to give them a little bit of the lead there. Also, Brendan Schiffer, he's been all over the grid, and Brett Henry. They are some strong but very versatile athletes as well.
Definitely. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other side. We're looking at the Atlanta Wild now. Carrie Billington's going to be doing a lot of work today. I presume she will be doing that ringer point race later on against Briley Hanson, who I believe is undefeated in the back handspring ringer, as well as Bryn Keurig completing a ringer. She'll be doing the triple unders versus Brandon Schipper. Rafael Ariaza is not here today. I think that was a last-minute thing that was messed up, and I believe someone else is not here. Just can't remember quite who right now. But a lot of people are going to be completing work. Ariana Trinidad, I don't think we've spoken enough about her when she's played in past matches, but she's been great. I'm also looking at David McKellar to do some work.
And I'm going to be looking at just circle the Billingtons already. They are definitely some of the heartbeats of the Wild squad. So he did a lot of gymnastics work for the Wild, especially on the aerials yesterday. But also, I'm looking at Amanda Fisher. Even though she is a single-day signing and only a wild card, so she will only be playing in 2 of the races here, I'm looking at the energy she brings on the sideline. And just by her presence here has already shown very valuable for the Wild.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere. You're going to learn a little bit about the mirror race, and we'll come right back.
Mirror, the second race of every match, always features a barbell element. A male and a female barbell are placed in the first quadrant. Upon the start of the race, both are picked up by the team in any fashion by the 3 men and 3 women allowed in the race at any given time. Once the barbell leaves the ground, it may not touch the ground again until all reps are complete. If it does, the entire team must return to the start line before continuing. A set number of reps must be completed by both genders in each quadrant before the team can move on. Non-lifting players will act as the human rack to support the barbells as the team moves from quadrant to quadrant and switches performing players in the process as needed. Substitutions may happen at any time. Time stops when all reps are complete and the last player crosses the finish line. This strength-focused race has the most players on the grid at the same time and requires effective planning and practice to be executed well through coordination amongst players. Remember, don't drop the barbell in the mirror race.
And we're back. We're getting ready for
the mirror.
The mirror, thank you. The mirror is going to be 40 shoulders to overhead, 10 in each quadrant. They're going to be moving it down the quadrants using human racks. The Wild actually got 0 points for that last race for finishing after the time cap. So the Palms are going to take 2. The score is currently 2-0, in case you were wondering.
Stand by.
And they're off. Dmitry Kaganovic and Brielle Macarelli for the Palms. For the Wild, it's going to be Mixa Miller and Kawika Henderson. It's an interesting matchup so far. The Wild with 0 points. They actually got 0 on that partner forward. It was caught late, and we didn't get to tell you while we were on the stream, just in case you missed what I just said. It's going to be Sydney Wilson and David McKellar here to make up some time for the Wild, but both teams are starting at just about the same time. The Palms maybe just slightly ahead. Brandon Schipper and Sam Secord for the Palms.
And somebody that we didn't talk about in our player picture is Sydney Wilson. She did a lot of the work yesterday, and she had a little bit of a mishap with the back squats yesterday, but I'm pretty sure she's not going to have any issues with the shoulder overhead. I think it's a little bit of communication issue, but this right here is going to be much faster, should be much cleaner than what we saw yesterday.
Definitely. Mixa, Matt, few reps behind the Palms. The Palms are on into that fourth quadrant. Burial is coming back. Brendan Schipper's coming back, and they are going to finish it off. The Wild are struggling here with Mixa Miller for that second quadrant here. Sydney Wilson is going to be taking over 1 rep and 2, and they are going to move into the fourth quadrant.
Yeah,
that is a tough one.
That is tough. Mixa Miller, she had a little bit of issues finishing out the last 3 reps in the quadrant, and they were sitting there because they're trying to save Sydney. Sydney's going to be doing a lot of work today, so she was hoping that Mixa was going to be able to finish it up, and she had to come in and help finish up that quadrant.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Mixa's strength is mostly in her legs. She was unable to finish those shoulder to overheads on a mirror. We almost never see that happen. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. The Palms are going to take that mirror race, but the Wild will be credited 1 point for finishing under the time cap, which just finished right now as I say it.
Oh,
wow. What an amazing showing from the Palms so far.
Yeah, they, like I said, they are here to yes, run transitions like Coach Briley said, but secretly they are very competitive and scrappy. The Wild definitely got their handful going against this Palms, but they still have their star in Amanda Fisher still out there, and I think she's going to bring a spark a little bit later.
Definitely. Can't hear from Coach Dan and Daniel on the grid. Go ahead, Daniel.
We are here on the grid with head coach of the Atlanta Wild, Dan Jackson. Dan, obviously, you are the champions last year. You have this offseason, retool, rebuild. You have some injuries. It's not really the season that you had hoped for. But what does it mean to see your team come out, fight, grind, and just get after it each opportunity that they have?
Well, what does a coach want more? I mean, honestly, it's an ideal situation. I mean, you've been in the coaching world before. Like, you know how it is when you had the season of, like, damn, coming off of something quote-unquote phenomenal. Like you and I spoke before, like, this is a 3-year project, and these guys, I can't ask for more than what they're doing. There's some things that we can obviously work on from a grid IQ standpoint, veterans and quote-unquote rookies at this point, but these guys are the ones that keep me wanting to come back.
Absolutely. So, obviously, you want to win. You have the opportunity to win. It's early in the match, but outside of winning, moving into next season, what are you looking to see out of your players today?
The same drive and determination they've been given all season this season, and I don't think it's going to change. If I'm being real, the amount of overwhelming information they provide when they're prepping for matches is incredible.
Well, best of luck the rest of the way. I appreciate the time, Dan. Thanks, bud.
Coach Dan Jackson is such a class act out here. Something breaking news. Taylor, go ahead and tell the people what we just found out.
All right, we got the ringer point coming up, and the Palms are throwing their bonus flag.
Bonus flag. It's definitely a safe one. I think the Palms are undefeated for this ringer, especially with Briley Hansen. It's going to be a 40 feet back handspring followed by a 4-point touch running into the finish line, and it's going to be Carrie Billington completing it for the Wild. It looks like they're taking a page out of everybody's book, and they're going to the finish line to wait for their buddy to complete the ringer point and finish that. So it's going to be an amazing match. You don't want to blink. Specialist versus specialist, bonus flag on the line. This is going to really set the tone going into the rest of the match.
They are ready. Stand by. Race.
And they're off. Briley Hansen, the first on her hands. Briley Hansen is already over the second line. It's going to be a 4-point touch for Briley Hansen, and she is going to run into the finish line. Carrie Billington close behind. Carrie Billington was not supposed to be doing this ringer point race today, so good thing that she just finished. Hopefully it was within the 20% of time that Briley Hansen completed it in. It was supposed to be Jimmy McBride, but for some undisclosed reason, she did not come to this match today, so Carrie Billington is stepping up for her team.
And she did really good, and I think there was like a little bit of confusion of where the line is. And it's hard. I've never done a back handspring, or even anything backwards to save my life. But it looks like she didn't know where exactly the line was, so she wasn't sure she had to do another rep. So we'll see if that was within the 20% rule.
Definitely, and it's a tough one, especially when you're going against someone who's undefeated like Briley Hansen. So it was a really safe bonus flag at that point, I'm sure, for the Palms, and it was a no-brainer for them to throw that. The deficit is becoming larger between the Palms and the Wild here, but this matchup is just getting started. 8 races left to go, so definitely going to be here for a while. Do not go anywhere. You're going to learn a little bit about something called an echo.
Echoes.
There we go. My echo was a little bit delayed. It's okay. But we'll be right back.
The Echo race is made up of 4 stations of elements that each must be completed before moving on in the race. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, but only 1 player at a time can perform reps. Substitutions may happen at any time. Once the Echo race is complete, get ready, because the same race will be repeated 45 seconds later. This race is about managing fatigue with your best players and leveraging roster depth to keep performance at a max pace through the second Echo. Remember, get ready to do it again in the Echo race.
One sentence to describe my pain journey. I don't like getting old. I'm always achy in my knees and my neck. When I first started taking Lubricin, you can notice like drastic difference. The first 2 to 3 weeks of squatting is when I really noticed it. I'm able to like activate muscles a little bit quicker, and like it's not nearly as achy when I am doing certain stretches.
So sum up your experience with Lubricin in 1 sentence.
Take it. How about 2 words? Take it. If you are achy, comma, take it.
Welcome back, United Grid League. We're learning about the Echo.
Because it echoes.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Echo, 45-second rest, and then they're going to do it all again. No time to change strategy. It's gonna be a 95-pound barbell, 30 reps. Men are gonna do a hang squat cluster. Women are gonna do a hang squat clean. 20 bar muscle ups, 30 bar facing burpees, 115-pound barbell, 30 reps. Men doing squat snatch, women doing snatch. Let's go ahead and take a look at those game faces here on the grid. I just got news that Carrie Billington did not get credit for that back handspring ringer, which means that she did not finish within 20% that Briley Hansen did, so they will receive 0 points. The current score is currently 7 for the Palms, 1 for the Atlanta Wild. It's a tough break, but we're going to see if we could change the tides here. Ariana Trinidad coming out for the Wild. That's Bailey Yarbrough for the Palms.
And we've seen this before, even in the Lions and the Breakers match at the and I was saying that there's always going to be 2 matches. The first match from the partner 4 all the way to the ladder, and then from the second ringer all the way to the end. So yes, the Atlanta Wild definitely put themselves into a little bit of a deficit. But we also watched how the Lions kept fighting back, and then they came back and eventually were able to finish and win it.
Definitely.
So you're seeing these athletes, they are both moving really fast. They're going to both switch off to the guys. And Johnny and David on both sides, they're a smaller athletes. Well, David's a little bit of a bigger athlete, but he is incredibly strong. But they are just making lightweight work of this barbell, of that 95-pound barbell.
Yeah, Briley Hansen is going to go ahead and get started. Well, Carrie Billington is. Briley Hansen was actually on the wrong bar, but they're starting those 20 bar facing muscle ups. Once again, they're doing a waterfall. Do you mind explaining a little bit about what a waterfall is?
Yeah, so pretty much with the waterfall, it's all about timing and efficiency. One athlete's going to be at the top of the rep, and the other athlete's going to be at the bottom of the rep. It's a way that the teams can try to be as efficient as possible to try to decrease the time of rep burn. So
that's right, because only one person can be working at a time. We're looking at Devin Brickovich coming out for the Atlanta Wild, and he actually got started first. for them, and he is taking it away. On the Palm side, they're doing nice transitions between Heather Hudson, and that's Edgar Cancine. He is their only bodyweight specialist. It's mostly utility players over there on the Palms.
Yeah, we've definitely seen in the previous matches that whoever comes off of the burpees and gets to the barbell first definitely has a big advantage. But the Wild over here, they're getting a lot of costly faults. The standard is that your feet must straddle the line. Your feet and hands must straddle the line, and the chest must touch the ground. So they got a few costly no reps because both feet was on one side of the line.
Definitely, the Palms were able to strengthen their lead with that one, and Atul Cabral is on those snatches, getting into the bottom, and he is a tall guy, so I can't imagine that's easy for him. Matt Phelan doing the same thing over here for the Wild, and he's just crushing those.
And man, I'm up here looking at Sydney waiting in the ring. I think she was a little bit upset about how that mirror went right there, and she is about to wreck this barbell. She has over a 200-pound snatch, and so I know she's ready to show that barbell.
Yeah, straight muscle snatches. Look at that. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Bailey Yarbrough doing the same thing on the other side. A little bit more power than Sydney is doing with, but Sydney's definitely going a bit faster. Can they catch up to the lead that the Palms have right now? Brendan Shipper chipping away at those in that fourth quadrant. No hands up in the air so far for either team.
I know, and I think Sydney definitely caught the Wild back up, so it's gonna be close. Oh, I see.
It's rep for rep, 3 reps, 2 reps for both, 1 rep for both, and Sydney, the fall for Sydney Wilson, and Brandon Shipper is going to secure it for the South Beach Palms. Wow.
Oh, wow. Sydney, that's heartbreaking right there, because Sydney actually brought the Wild right back into contention. But on the very last rep, she threw the bar in the air, and you have to show control at the top. And so that right there, she got faulted, so they had to come back in and finish.
Definitely. It was a fair call. I saw that one for sure. The Palms are going to take that one. Once again, not a race win in sight for the Wild as of yet. It's really tough out here for them. The deficit keeps on growing larger and larger, but at least they did finish within the time cap with time left to spare, so they will receive 1 point to pad their score a little bit here. 45 seconds of transition time is now over, and here we go for Echo 2. Let's see if the tides can change. And here we go, Mixa Miller back on the barbell, Bailey Yarbrough back, Sam Secord now on the barbell for the Palms in the pink. And those pink jerseys, by the way, are awesome for the Palms. I love to see them coming out here. Their jerseys are usually light blue with pink designs, but now it's the inverse, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I'm over here looking at the Wild over here. They got some costly faults with Mixa Miller over here. The standard is you have to stand up all the way before the bar comes down, and she had a few no reps where she was actually brought the bar down before she was opened up the hips and stood up all the way. So that's definitely going to cost them.
Yeah, definitely. They're taking a close look at Matt Cable's depth. He is going lower than depth for these, but it's definitely riding the line. But the Palms are the first ones to the muscle up. Loredana Nirola is coming out for the Palms, and she is going to go waterfall with Brett Henry.
And I'm out there looking at Loredana. She's pretty much catching it in a full lock out, and Henry he's a thicker guy. He's a bigger dude, but she's doing a really good job at waiting for him at the top and letting him make sure that he's locked out before she goes down.
Yeah, she is crushing it. She's just amazing at these. Look how she picks up speed. She knows exactly what she has to do and how to execute. Wow.
She's like, that is so fast by myself.
For sure. She said, move out my way. She almost tumbled Brandon down, and he's way bigger than her, maybe 3 times her size. But Johnny Caraballo is on the bar, splitting the line for those burpees. They have a really good lead against the Wild going into this, but Devin Brekovich and Vilma Gray looking to make a strong turnaround for their team. Matt Phelan, shout out to Matt for picking up a lot of the work that the Wild were missing out on. We know that they're missing some players, so it's definitely a hard one, and I'm glad to see that he's stepping up for his team. I would say that that's a safe re-sign for them.
Oh my goodness, they need to sign him, and especially if Coach Dan was up there talking about if this is a 3-year project right here, you need to have him as a part of that vision.
I agree. Just Placencia over there for the Palms, finishing up those reps. They don't have to hurry too much. I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't tire myself if I'm the Palms. There's a minute and a half left on the time cap, and they are over 20 reps ahead of the Atlanta Wild here. Vilma Gray is finishing up those last few. 3 reps remaining for her. Not a hand in the air yet for the South Beach Palms.
Yeah, if I was the Palms, I would definitely take my foot off the gas right now. They have a very comfortable lead right now, and good. Just broke it up right there. You do not need to tire yourself out too much. You still got another half of the match going. They got a comfortable lead right here, and I am trying to figure out why Matt Cable is doing hang squat snatches when it's supposed to come from the floor. That's very interesting.
5 reps remaining for the Palms. They slowed their roll down a little bit, but Sydney Wilson is not slowing her. She's trying to close that deficit, and by gosh, has she done it, honestly. Both of those players are doing a great job, but it's just a little too far to catch up. The Palms are going to finish Echo 2. Wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Matt Cable is doing hang squat snatches, and he's still doing hang squat snatches. They're supposed to be snatches from
full
the floor.
snatches. That's so unfortunate. There's 20 seconds left. Can they finish under the time cap? If they don't finish within the time cap, it's going to be really unfortunate. They brought out Mixa Miller for these snatches, but I don't think that she could cycle them at the speed that they need. Can she finish within the time cap? 2 reps remaining. Can she do it? 1 rep remaining. They got to go into the finish line.
Oh my God!
Wow, and they didn't make it into the finish line.
I've never seen that, because Matt Cable, he is a veteran, and so to see him do that many reps of hang squat snatches is very, very confusing. He typically doesn't make mistakes like that, especially being a vet, but he was doing hang squat snatches. It's supposed to be a full snatch coming from the floor.
Yeah, it's definitely really unfortunate, especially when you were doing hang movements earlier in the Echo with the hang squat clean. So he was probably, that was on his mind earlier.
Hang clusters,
yeah. It's definitely a hard one. But I'm going to go ahead and send it to my friend Daniel on the grid. Go ahead, Daniel.
We're back on the grid with Cody Rice. Cody, we saw you in uniform in Tampa. Here in Dallas, you're not in uniform. What's going on?
Yeah, the first match, I sadly dislocated my shoulder doing a pullover. So I messed it up pretty bad because I didn't realize I had dislocated it. So kept going with a few things, and then just evidently made it worse. But it is what it is. It's kind of just sport. So here today, just supporting the team, coaching, helping coach, do what I can, make sure everybody knows their assignments.
Man, it's just a testament to the athletes on the team. You fill in where you can, do what you can to help the team win. Obviously, you guys are in a good position today to pick up your first win. What do you got to do, and what do you tell the team, knowing that you've been in their shoes before, to keep moving, being motivated to win this match?
Today's match is all about execution. Make sure we have good, clean reps, setting ourselves up positive for next year, get our group in the right mindset going into next year, and make sure that everybody knows what they're doing.
All right. Appreciate the time, Cody. Best of luck with the injury.
Thank you.
Cassie, back to you.
Shout out to Cody Rice. I'm so sorry that he's hurt. He's a great CrossFit athlete,
Really
so to see him on the sidelines is really unfortunate. But you're going to learn a little bit about what it means to be strong for this next race, which is what you're really going to have to be to take a point in this one. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The ladder consists of 2 rows of 4 stations of a strength-based element, 1 row for males and 1 row for females. The weight increases as you move down the grid. Teams send out 1 player at a time, alternating male and female, to perform the designated lift for the match format. Each successful lift has a point value that is added to the team's ladder score. The point value is equal to the quadrant the barbell is sitting in. Players are allowed 1 lift attempt per quadrant and may skip any quadrant they choose, but are never allowed to backtrack once a barbell is passed. The team with the highest total point value at the end of the 4-minute time cap wins. This race is one of the most strategic and coach-reliant of all of the races. As a good game plan and in-the-moment decision-making, to manage time is everything. Remember, lift heavier and score higher in the ladder race.
right, so we are about to head into our ladder, which is actually my favorite ladder. It's the snatch ladder.
It sure is.
Yes. The men's weight is going to start at 195 pounds. It's going to increase to 215, 235, and finish off with 255 pounds. The women's weight is going to go from 120, 135, 150, and finish with 165 pounds here. Each athlete will have an opportunity at one attempt of each barbell in each quadrant, and they will gain points for whatever that corresponding quadrant is. So if the athlete hit the bar in the first quadrant, they'll earn 1 point. If they hit the bar in the fourth quadrant, they'll earn 4 points. So each athlete has an opportunity of gaining 10 points for their team.
That's right, Taylor, and it's going to be an interesting matchup, especially with the Palms. The Wild, traditionally, usually in past seasons, have done very well on the ladder, but unfortunately, they're missing players. They're having to, have their strength players do a little bit more than they planned on signing up to do, So the Palms, with their roster and having most of their players be able to be here, the odds are looking good for them. Right now, the points are 2 for the Wild and 11 for the Palms, and that's in the course of 5 races. So it's sad to say that it looks like it's pretty much determined at this point. I've never seen a match, be taken away so early with a differential of 9.
I know, and the Wild, they've been struggling. It's been a tough year for them.
Yeah.
But Tom Soroka, he's dealing with a foot and Achilles injury right now. But he said he wanted to come back for his team to let them know that they are still around. But so it's tough. Definitely they have a very strong team, but of course being plagued with injuries all season, they're still trying to fight with heart.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is one that they maybe can come back in for this ladder. I don't know necessarily what they would throw their bonus flag for, though, but it's still in play. They haven't used it yet, but the Palms already used theirs for the back handspring ringer that we saw earlier. So we're going to see how the strength specialists fare against each other here under time and pressure for such a highly skilled movement. The snatch is really hard. It's really easy to mess up a snatch, especially when you're going so fast.
And we saw that all throughout the day. Like a lot of athletes that I would expect would and should hit that fourth bar, a lot of athletes missed it. Even a couple of athletes that missed the third and fourth bar that should have not been done that. So this one, I'm hoping the Wild Hill has a good opportunity to win this, or potentially just keep it very close. But everybody has to execute.
Yeah, definitely. This is one that you really have to execute, and you have to do as much as you can here. They're sending out Tom Soroka first, it looks like, for the Atlanta Wild, and it looks like they might be sending out Atud Cabral for the Palms. We'll see. Sorry, Brielle.
Stand by. Race.
Oh, it's a play on both sides. They both did that. It's Bryn Carrick and Brielle Macarelli. Brielle finishing first on that barbell. Bryn is going to have to make up some time here and go as quickly as possible. You really want to send your players down the grid in the order that you know that they're going to finish it, right? So your strongest players first so that you don't run out of time to send out your strongest players. Brielle's going to go ahead and go all the way through the finish line. Bryn Carrick with a nice catch in that snatch in the third quadrant. So both of them... Oh, Bryn is going to try for that fourth bar. That's interesting. Atud Cabral finishing the second quadrant. Bryn is going to fault out on the fourth, and she's going to get out of there. I'm surprised they let her do it with how slow the setup was and everything. But Tom Soroka is going to go ahead and muscle, essentially, this whole entire ladder because he is dealing with an Achilles injury from one of the previous matches in Miami.
Yeah, you definitely see how he's running up to each bar very gingerly. So he's trying not to risk further injury to it. So he's just he cannot rebend or put any kind of flexion in his ankle. So he is just muscling up everything.
Wow, that was excellent muscle snatches all the way down the grid. Great job, Tom, doing what you can there. Amanda Fisher is going to undoubtedly clear the ladder in my brain, but Briley Hansen going through as well. It's going to bring in rookie Dmitry Kaganovich for the Palms. This is his very first match with the Palms, and he is taking Tyler Davis's spot they had last yesterday, excuse me. They're really trying to make up for Corey Hendon. That's a big loss that they had. He had a work obligation, so he couldn't be here this weekend. Dimitri's going to clear that third bar. David McKellar is going to clear that third bar, and no doubt in my mind that David McKellar is going to clear that fourth bar, but is he going to power it? It's going to be a full snatch, but it's going to be a beautiful one, and he's going to get out of there for the finish line.
It looks like the Wild actually backed in their strongest athletes, so they're picking up the speed a little bit. And as they progress throughout this, they're getting faster and faster. You already know that Sidney Wilson is going to clear this, so they should be racking up a little bit more points here. And it'll be interested to see if Sam Secor is going to hit this last bar over here. This is going to be big for the Palms.
Definitely, Sidney Wilson is going to finish off. Sam Secor is going to miss that fourth bar. According to our unofficial score that you can see on your screen, it looks like the Wild are taking this one away, which is what they really needed here. It looks like Kavika Henderson is over here.
Yeah, Kawika is also dealing with an aggravated hip injury, so you can see him just like Tom. He's trying his best to not re-injure that hip. So I was speaking to him. He said as long as he doesn't bend his knees that much, he should be good. And so that's why he is trying to avoid trying to get under it.
Yeah, it looks like Vilma Gray is going to get out of there. It's going to bring in Matt Cable. Jessica Placencia is over there in that third quadrant. She's going to go for that fourth bar. Undoubtedly, that was a very easy power for her. Matt Cable going up to that third bar. Can Jess Placencia pull it off for her team? And that is a good snatch for Jess. She's going to run out of there. Matt Cable's going to skip that bar. And it's going to come in Ariana Trinidad. There's 45 seconds left on the clock. It's not too far to come back from for the Palms. Brett Henry's coming out for them. Ariana Trinidad's going to go all the way to the finish line. She only did the first two bars, and in comes Devin Breakovich. He's going to skip the first, and he's going to go to that second bar. He's going to lift it up. Oh, and that's a fault on the second bar. He just moved, just set up a little bit too weird. He's going to go for the third, and that is a miss for the third bar. Wow. I might have spoken too soon. There's 15 seconds on the clock. Heather Hudson is definitely going to clear this third bar. Can Devin Breakovich pull it together for the fourth? And that is a fault for Devin Breakovich. Wow. Heather Hudson coming down to the end, but Johnny Caraballo finishing that first bar.
Wow, dang.
They were close to coming back, the Palms were, but they sent Ariana Trinidad off because they thought that Devin Breakovich was going to do it. The second one, it looks like he just got shaken up. The second one, he kind of misgrooved, so he missed it out in front after catching it. The third one, he just got shaken up, and the fourth one, they should have just tried to send someone else at that point. It's a tough one.
I think that he was the last athlete for them, but they also had 35 seconds left.
Yeah.
And he rushed the first one. And so if he's the last one, he did not need to run out.
Yeah.
I would take the rest of the time on the clock to just sit back, make sure I'm in my position, I'm setting up. But he rushed that first one and unfortunately went to that third one and rushed it again and just lost that groove.
I mean, it's a rookie mistake. He is a rookie. We've seen it happen before, so I'm sure he'll learn from that and come back and kill it on the next one. But Daniel's going to find out that ladder score for us, which is what I really want to know. We know what the unofficial score. We know who took it unofficially, but we're going to hear it from Daniel, who's going to give us that final word. In the meantime, the Wild, if they don't win, at least need to finish that ladder to still kind of be in this race. It's definitely a tough one with the differential being so high, but it looks like we have word from Daniel. Go ahead, Daniel.
All right, we've got the ladder results in. It's going to be the Wild taking the ladder race victory with a score of 67 to the Palms 62. Cassie Taylor, back to you.
Heather Hudson really closed that differential. It's now 5. So even though the Wild won, the Palms are still going to get 1 point of credit.
And this is actually I'm happy that the Wild got this, but I'm like, there was a huge opportunity that was lost right there.
Yeah.
If they were able to close out on those, at least 2 of those bars, it would have put them in that 10-point differential, and they could have prevented the Palms from getting 1 point right there. That would have been an even bigger motivation boost. But congratulations to the Wild.
Definitely, it was a good one. They definitely needed that to boost morale and to feel good. It's their first race win of the day. Still more to come, but I'm going to go ahead and send it to Daniel on the grid. Daniel?
We're here with the Palms, Lori Naroda. Lori, long-awaited, anticipated arrival. coming from UAE, you're finally here. You said it was a dream to be here. Has it met the expectations?
So far, yes. First of all, I want to say thanks to everyone because everyone was so welcoming to me. And yeah, I was like surprised to see that everyone was waiting for me.
Yeah, I mean, you put on a show. You did exactly what everyone thought you were going to do. So shout out to you for coming all this way, being a part of the Palms finally, and getting after it. We really appreciated seeing you. Hopefully we get to see more of you in the future.
I hope that too.
Absolutely. That's Lori Naroda. Appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Cassie, back to you.
Thanks for that, Daniel. We're getting ready for another ringer point race. Let me give you some insights. It's going to be triple unders. For the Palms, it's going to be triple unders. The Wild are just finding out that they won the ladder, and the Palms are going to get that point. It's going to be triple unders. For the Palms, it's going to be Brandon Shipper, and for the Atlanta Wild, it's going to be Bryn Carrick. Now, Bryn Carrick is a rookie. This is the first time that we're seeing her. The first time that we're seeing her do a ringer, period. So we don't have a really good frame of reference. It looks like she's messing up a little bit on the triple unders right now, just in practice, but Brandon Shipper's pretty good at them. And I think the Wild at this point are just understanding that they just got to get it done.
Oh, and the triple unders is such a it's simple but tricky element. We saw Darren Lasso, who is arguably one of the best in the league, trip up on one rep. And so it could be such a simple movement, but you got to make sure you get that rope under you 3 times.
Yeah, definitely. It's a hard one. But we're going to watch everybody. The Wild are waiting for Bryn Carrick at the end. Her team is behind her. The Wild are just keeping it together and keeping that good energy and doing as best as they could here.
Ready. Stand by. Race.
And they're off. Brandon Shipper versus Bryn Carrick. Bryn Carrick looking pretty good so far. Brandon Shipper messed up. Wow, this is not going the way I think the Palms wanted it to. One rep remaining, 4-point touch, and she better run to the end. She didn't need that 4-point touch, but good thing that Brandon Shipper is struggling with those triple unders. Wow.
She did extra credit.
He thought that he had to do the triple touch, the 4-point touch as a result of that.
Bryn Carrick, that was awesome. She did extra credit and still got the 20% differential. Great job. That was awesome.
That was so cool. Great job to Bryn Carrick. I think it's exactly what the Wild needed. They were freaking out when she went back to the start line. Like, no, you gotta come back. It's a rookie mistake, but good thing it paid off in the end. Brandon Shipper finished while he was finishing his reps. We don't know if he finished within 20% of Bryn Carrick, though, so we're gonna have to see how that shakes up. It was a decent amount of time between them, though, so.
That's good. And I think you're going to start seeing teams moving forward. You got to have somebody who is a specialist at triple unders.
Yes.
Because more and more teams are starting to pick that. And it's not as simple as just doing double unders. Now, if you have somebody that can efficiently do those, you can definitely snipe in some points or even get some bonus points in there, which could be a game changer for teams.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really difficult, especially for the Wild, considering their roster positions. But I'm sure Coach Dan, you know Coach Dan, he is all in for grid. So I'm sure next season he's going to come back and crush that. But we're going to come right back. You're going to learn a little bit about gymnastics. Don't go anywhere.
Jack and Jill features 3 stations of high-level bodyweight-based elements that increase in difficulty moving down the grid. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, and only 1 player can be working at a time. The team can only move on to the next station when the previous station is complete. This race is the simplest when it comes to rules, but the most reliant on player skill and speed, as the hyper-specialists often make the difference in the race. Remember, let the bodyweight ninjas fly in the Jack and Jill race.
I was always on a foam roller. That's the first thing I do when I start training. I was just on the rumble roller, and getting them opened up and warm helps me mobilize a little bit easier.
Roller hit the right spots.
As a bodyweight specialist, I'm always trying to get in there just so I can get
bit of range here. I'm definitely using this as much as possible.
I'm so excited to get to work those into my mobility, my warm-up drills, and that's already going to go right into my gym bag.
I will be using this to get in there so that I can get out there and be all right.
And we're back for this Jack and Jill. Welcome back. It's going to be chest to bar pull-ups. It's going to be 60. Then it's going to be 30 double touches. And then it's going to be 15 triple touches. One person working at a time. One person from each gender on the grid at a time. And the Wild were able to pull out the last 2 wins. They actually threw the bonus flag for that, which I didn't know. So it looks like the Wild have taken it to less than half for that differential, which is very impressive. Great job to the Wild for doing that. But we're going to see the bodyweight specialist fly here.
I missed that too.
Yeah, the Wild really need to pull off and be strong for the rest of this match. So let's see who takes it. Bryn Carrick and Matt Phelan for the Wild, Briley Hansen and Johnny Caraballo for the Palms. You got to do a strategy called waterfalling here. Taylor, can you go ahead and explain to me what waterfalling is one more time?
Yes, so the waterfall, you're going to see the athletes cycle through these reps. You have to have, in order for a rep to count, one person has to be working at a time. So the teams will practice it where one athlete will be in a dead hang when the other one is at the top. And if you do it correctly, you will be able to be efficient and be able to get the timing correctly.
Absolutely. It looks like the Palms kind of have this one down. The Wild struggling just a little bit, but they're doing really well. They're keeping up here with some of the best in the league with Briley Hansen, so it's a hard one for sure. There's a bunch of rookies on the floor. So now Heather Hudson is coming out. She's going to be doing those double touches, and she's, as we know, one of the fastest in the league. She used to do that ringer point specifically and did really well on it. So now Bryn Carrick is going at, Carrie Billington is coming out for the Wild against her, and they're doing those double touches, and Matt Cable is waiting. It's really hard to waterfall the double touches, as we've spoken about.
Yeah, because the double touches, it's very hard to count. I mean, it's such a faster movement. It's actually not allowed to try to, for athletes to try to waterfall double touches. So only one athlete can work at a time, but you can waterfall the chest to bar and the triple touches.
Yep, 1 rep remaining for the Wild, but the Palms are already on those. Look at Laura Fly over there for the Palms in pink. She is very good. I think they found her from Instagram and were able to sign her. She came all the way from Dubai to compete here in Dallas, Texas this weekend. So hopefully we get to see more of her on the grid next season, because those are actually crazy. Atud Cabral, really tall guy, the tallest in the league. His feet basically scrape the ground when he does gymnastics. So it's crazy that he's able to do that. But it looks like he's going to leave the last few to Lore. There's 5 remaining for the Palms over here. Meanwhile, they're still working over here for the Wild. It looks like they were able to catch up actually a little bit. 1 rep remaining for the Wild is crazy. And the Wild are going to take the Jack and Jill. Wow!
That's what we like to see right there. A little fight in the second half.
What a comeback.
So the Palms had a little bit of costly no reps over there from Laura. I don't think her chest touched her. When you do miss a rep, you have to start from the very beginning. And we've seen this happen over a few races where one team was ahead and the other team just stayed smooth, and they had a lot less faults. So this is why we always say smooth is fast. Not always fast, it's not always smooth, y'all.
That's right. It's definitely a hard one. A lot of things to consider, especially going into the next few races, but the Wild are starting to pull it out.
This is, I keep on saying it. There's 2 different matches, from the partner forward to the ladder, and then that second ringer to the end. So, so it's the Wild. They're chipping away. They said that don't count us out. Even though we may be out, don't count us out.
That's right. You can't do it. Well, now we're gonna see how the women fare against each other. Hate to pitch strong women against each other, but we got to do it for the purposes of this female triad. If you don't know what that is, you're about to learn. Be right back.
There is a male and a female version performed separately. It consists of 5 elements, each with 3 stations that must be completed individually. 3 players can be on the grid at any given time. All players can perform at any station and in any order. But all of the designated reps must be performed at each station. All 3 stations of each element must be complete before the team can move on to the next element. The triad is all about player conditioning and managing fatigue across the team. The best strategy ensures players have enough left in the tank for the last element and has backup plans for when things inevitably go wrong. Remember, try to catch your breath in the triad race.
Oh my God. Oh, this is like my first official saying this. Okay. The Community Day, what it's designed to do, we have been doing this now for 8 years. Once a year we get together, we present awards, we do a potluck, we all get together. All the different members from different classes come in and connect. It's very challenging because I am a full-time coach and affiliate owner. This ice goes over here. This is ice for beverages. Everybody signs up for a dish, which I have the board back here. Not everything's healthy, that's okay. We have grassroots to make up for that. So I found CrossFit in a really tough part of my life. I was very unhealthy. I was in a very unhealthy mindset. I was starting to have medical problems because of my weight and my lack of activity. Yeah, I really put myself in a hole by the time I was 20. Coming to grid was like a big step for me and a bucket list item that I was like, I really want to be able to say that I did it. When it came to moving to the Wild, I did not realize that they were like a championship contention team. And the experience was incredible, quite nerve-wracking, but incredible.
Hands down winner. Like there was no competition, Denise. We all knew it, we knew it.
I'm getting married in 44 days. Oh my God. Oh. This is like my first official saying this. He's always there cheering me on, being super supportive. I did not think that well into my 30s, getting fitter every day, it's crazy. I never thought that I would be able to do that. You are truly capable of anything.
And we're back. We're getting ready for the female triad. Go ahead and tell them what they can expect, Taylor.
All right, the women are going to be doing 10 devil's presses. The weight is going to be 35 pounds, followed by 15 handstand push-ups. Then 15 D-ball squats with a they must support that ball on the shoulders at 100 pounds. And they have 4 ring muscle-ups. And they're going to finish with 15 reps of a deadlift with an axle bar at 205 pounds.
That's right, Taylor. And the tides have really changed here. I spoke a little bit too soon earlier, and I want to apologize. I thought it was too far to come back from the Wild, but they've proven dominant in the last few races, and they've closed that differential to only 5 points. So technically, it's still anybody's, and we're still fired up here. Don't think that we've lost all the energy just because this is our last match here in Dallas, Texas. This female triad is going to really help the Wild if they're able to pull this off.
Players ready. Stand by. Race.
Amanda Fisher, Carrie Billington, and Vilma Gray for the Wild, and for the Palms it's going to be Jessica Placencia, Briley Hansen, and Sam Secord.
Yeah, and this is going to be a great and fun triad to watch. The Palms are really good. They have some very conditioned athletes, very strong athletes. But the Wild, they're on a great momentum boost. And then they also have their former star and captain, and Amanda Fisher. She is a wild card, and I think Coach Dan put her in this race for it's a great job putting her in the race. So as long as the Palms gets to the barbell before them, I think they'll have a chance. But this Wild squad, women's squad that they have out there is a very, very good squad.
Definitely. It looks like they're a few reps ahead of this handstand push-up, having gone into it first, but there's only a few reps remaining before they go into that D-ball squat. Carrie Billington's going to be tagging out for Amanda Fisher. Vilma Gray's going to be tagging out, but Sydney Wilson is already on the D-ball squat. That is 100 pounds supported on one shoulder. They have to do 15 squats here, Taylor.
Man, we've seen it in all the matches previous, that this is where the race really begins. Whoever gets off these, who can handle these D balls and handle these ring muscle ups and get to that bar, that exo bar first, is definitely going to have the advantage. We did see the team before kind of have a breakdown, the Venom before have a breakdown at the end. That was the only concern there. But you see, this is why it's important to have a strong beast like Amanda there to be able to clean up some of these reps.
Yeah, definitely. She has to finish strong because Bryn Carrick was unable to finish. It was going a little slow there, and it looks like the Palms might be the first ones onto the. Oh no, I spoke too soon. There was a misstep there. Sam Secord is going to finish those D-ball squats, and the Wild are already deep into their muscle-ups. Wow.
Oh, wow. Amanda Fisher is pulling all the duties on this. She had to go help her teammate, help Carrie Billington just get into the rings, and then she had to go and finish the ring muscle ups herself. And I'm pretty sure she's going to be on that axle bar, too.
Good thing Bryn Carrick knows exactly what to do once she finished. She went straight to that deadlift axle bar, and she knew that that's where they have to make up time. Amanda Fisher starting as well. Sydney Wilson coming out. The Wild start first, and Heather Hudson not too far behind. Heather Hudson looks just about the size of that axle bar, which is absolutely crazy. Sam Secord and Jessica Placencia over there as well. Amanda Fisher, Sydney Wilson finishing up. Hands are in the air. 2 reps remaining for Sydney. 2 reps remaining for Amanda. And the Wild Ladies are going to take the female triad. Wow, how the tides have changed here.
When I saw that lineup and I saw Amanda warming up for it, and I'm like, they still got Sydney Wilson in the mix of things. I'm like, this is gonna be a very, very good triad for them. They needed this. The second half is definitely looking a lot better. We saw it in the Lions and the Breakers, where the Breakers had a great start. The Lions was a little bit slow, but then they picked it up towards the middle, and it looks like the Wild is finally finding their stride. And this is why you don't get too down on yourselves. You have to go in there 0-0 every single race. Great job.
I agree. Definitely the times are changing. Carrie Billington saying how surprising. She wasn't expecting her team to pull it together here. That's awesome. But they're doing great. It's still anybody's race. They're fighting tooth and nail here. But in a second, we're going to be hearing from someone on the grid with Daniel. Go ahead, Daniel.
On the grid with Bryn Carrick. Bryn, rookie season, all right?
Yeah.
First ever ringer point. What does it mean for Coach Dan Jackson to entrust in you the opportunity to do a ringer?
Means a lot because last match we had the sprint relay. They were in there. I had my hair like this. It got yanked and it cost us those 12. And I was like, dang, I was kicking myself the whole time. Like, I know I can do them unbroken. So today, wrapping my hair around the sports bra, I was like, Dan, I said I got it today. I said I got it. So the extra pressure and knowing this is one of my favorite movements, that was a great combo to get my team 3 points. That was awesome.
You even wanted to add an extra thrill. You did your 4-point touch.
And I did 13. We told the ref my first one was going to be a triple, but he didn't count it, and I'm like, I'm not about to play around with that. So I was like, why not do 13 and then add a sprint? Totally meant to do that, totally.
Either way, you get the job done. What are you working towards in the off season? Obviously, we see you do everything. What is the weakness? What do you got to work on?
I want to get stronger. I do a lot of CrossFit, so this is just cool to work on. I'm an endurance athlete, so I'm not like sprints. That's why I like all the longer stuff. But to give something 110 effort in that moment, it's just different. Different gear you got to get your mind into and your muscles to work. So it's good.
Well, you're doing great. You're kicking butt in your rookie season. You guys are right in it. Got some momentum rolling, so let's see if we can keep it going.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Bren.
Appreciate you.
Back to you, Cassie.
Thanks, Daniel. If I'm Coach Dan, I'm keeping Bryn Carrick.
Oh my gosh, I like her a lot. She is a weapon. She's smart too. She already knows about herself. She says she's an endurance athlete, so she knows this is a different type of training. Yeah. I keep on telling everybody, I'm like, this isn't CrossFit. Everybody like, it's CrossFit. Like, no, it's not CrossFit. It's grid. It's more anaerobic. It's more fast twitch fibers. So you're working different muscles. You got to train it differently as well too. So she is smart. I'm excited to see the future of her.
I am too. I think she can be a great grid athlete. But we're going to come right back. I don't want you to go anywhere.
Never want to admit out that I was depressed, but I was saying it out loud. I probably was. In 2017, I had a heat stroke during military training, which caused kidney failure and rhabdo. And then that later put me into a permanent profile. And with a permanent profile, you have to get out of the military.
10 years
I just
old,
wanted to have my
the
whole life.
feeling of celebrating Christmas with your family, being happy, to all of a sudden losing everything. My parents did a really, really good job of not letting it affect the rest of our existence. We still went to school, we still did our daily stuff. Sports, for sure, definitely helped guide me down a healthy path. I started CrossFit. I couldn't do a pull-up, I couldn't do a push-up. It was devastating. But I met somebody at my gym that played in the National Grid League. The stuff I saw them doing, I was like, I need to get in there. I love grid, I wanna do it. That's when I started weightlifting, actually. I knew what a clean was, squatting, back squatting, things like that. And eventually got pretty dang good. And then I moved here in 2019, and that's when I was reintroduced to grid. What I love about grid is the team aspect, the camaraderie. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to give it their all, which is what the South Beach Palms have.
Welcome back. It's going to be the same thing that we just saw in the female triad, just a little bit heavier. The men are going to do 50 pounds for the devil's press. It's going to be 150 pounds for the D-ball squat. The rig muscles are going to change to 7, and that axle bar is going to be 295 pounds. The Wild really need to pull it out for this one in order to still be in the game. They've closed the differential to only 3 points, which is absolutely insane, Taylor. I can't believe they've done it, but by gosh, what a Hail Mary and what a prayer they sent out for it to be answered. Let's see it. We saw the Wild ladies come out victorious, but can the men do it now? The men have been taking up a lot of work. They're probably gassed. I'd say the Palms probably have a little bit of a deeper roster on the men's side than the Wild do right now as far as being able to do all of the things and being a utility player essentially. But it's going to be Brandon Schipper, Artur Cabral, and that's Brett Henry for the Palms. For the Wild, you're looking at David McKellar, Matt Cable, and Devin Brekovich.
And this is awesome. This is why I love this sport so much. And the you just already see the energy shift from the Wild. They are moving with more pep in their step here. And the Palms, they are a great team, a very gritty team, but they tend to start out off very fast. They typically have a little bit hard time finishing at the end, but they got to make sure that they are minimizing their mistakes, especially in this triad. These Wild boys are so hungry right now. You already see athletes pushing each other out the way, like move out the way, so the sense of urgency is very great on this.
I love it. Matt Phelan, what a guy. I would say the MVP of this match.
All over.
He is really important for the Wild right now, and the Wild are starting to catch up to the Palms that had a slight lead going into this. David McKellar, Matt Phelan, Matt Cable.
All the mats.
Yeah, there we go. And here we are looking at Brett Henry, Artur Cabral for the Palms. It's looking pretty close. Johnny Caraballo over here as well. And it looks like the Palms still are keeping their slight lead here, but maybe the men can make it up on the axle bar. Going into it. There's few reps remaining. Matt Phelan is going to finish off. 2 reps remaining for David McKellar. 1 rep.
Yeah. So
sorry. They had to finish up for Matt Phelan over there. Matt Phelan's going to get ready for those muscle ups. David McKellar is going to be tagging out for Billington, but it looks like the Palms have a very good lead going into this next one. They're going to have to butterfly if they're going to make up, but it doesn't look like any of these men on the Wild can do that here. Matt Cable, a little bit of a stall. He's doing a lot of work. He's pretty gassed out, but Ooh, those rings are swinging. He's got to take it a little bit easier because it looks like it's too far for them to catch up. 1 minute, 45 seconds remaining, and the Palms are about to finish ahead of the Wild. They know that they can relax. They know they don't need to gas themselves out, but the Wild right now just trying to keep it together. They have 90 seconds. No doubt that they're going to finish under the tide cap, though.
Oh, man. Matt Phelan and Matt Cable, the tail of the mats on this, they have done a lot of work this week.
Yeah, they sure have.
Matt Phelan had to pick up on the handstand push-ups and then went to those heavy D balls. And he's a little guy. He dropped the ball a few times, so Matt Matt Cable had to come and help him out, but that also, Matt was supposed to do the ring muscle-ups, and he just fell out of the rings right there.
Definitely. 3 reps remaining for the Palms over there. They're taking it easy. Tyler Billington coming out. Bodyweight specialist doing the axle bar, and he's crushing it. Wow, look at those arms, by the way.
We still got
I
a
see you,
match.
Tyler Billington, and there goes the Palms. They are going to finish ahead of the Wild here.
Wow, that was crazy because the Palms had a huge lead, but they were actually having a really, really tough time with those axle bar deadlifts. And the Wild came very close from coming back and winning. Wow.
It was pretty crazy. The Wild did a great job coming back and not losing that intensity, even though the Palms were so far ahead. And the fact that they were able to close that gap is so impressive. But we're about to see this last match. But before that, we're going to see an interview from a special guest. The score unofficially is now going to be 12-16. So it looks like that's a 4-point differential. Unfortunately, that is too big of a differential to come back from because, you know, if the Palms finish, they get 1 point, and if the Wild win, they get 3 points. So we'll see how this one turns out. But let's go ahead and hear from Daniel on the grid. Daniel, who are you with?
We are on the grid with the Palms, Brandon Schiffer. Brandon, obviously, week 1, not there. Week 2, big presence on the grid for your team in Tampa. Weeks 3, you're here in Dallas doing your thing. Obviously, the season's not what you guys wanted. But when you reflect on the season as a whole, what's the takeaway?
Takeaways will be this weekend. We've executed so well this weekend. We've had a lot of fun. Like yesterday, we almost took the dub. Really close today. On track for a dub, depending on how the sprint relay goes. But we're all vibing right now. We went to the rodeo last night. It was sick. We're all having a good time. And because of that, we're all executing pretty well today. So we'll carry this on to next year. Unfortunately, first 2 matches didn't go too well this year, so set us on the wrong path, but we're dialed now. We're ready to finish the season strong.
Well, whatever it was, the rodeo, the cowboy hats, the no pressure, just with nothing to lose, you guys are doing well. Best of luck, and hopefully you guys can pick up a victory today. Thanks, Brandon. Cassie, Taylor, back to you.
Shout out to Brandon Schiffer and the other Palms men for holding it down for the Palms. We're about to see a crazy sprint relay. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too much of a deficit to come back from the Wild, but it's definitely important that they close that gap as much as possible and keep it as competitive as they can. But we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it.
The sprint relay is the final race of every match and is worth an extra point for the race win. It is a relay race with 1 player allowed on the grid at a time and 8 elements to perform. Any player can perform on any element, and substitutions can happen at any time, except when a player performs the last rep of an element. In that case, the player must run back to the start line, perform a 4-point touch behind the start line, and sprint through to the finish line, permanently leaving the race. The next player may enter once the previous one has crossed the finish line. The only exception is the distance element that ends at the finish line with no sprint back required. The catch is, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements. The sprint relay is a great balance of strategy to decide which players in what order are the best combination, along with clean and well-executed elements by the players, to lead to the best race outcome for the team. Remember, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements in the sprint relay.
If you only have 1 shot, 1 opportunity. You go for it?
We go for it.
All right, let's do it. Sprint relay.
We are going to finish it off with 25 thrusters at 100 pounds with a 35-pound bar. Then we have 25 pull-ups, followed by 10 dumbbell devil presses with 35 pounds. Then we have a farmer's carry, 215 pounds in each hand. You're going to take that from start to finish. Then we have 15 bar-facing burpees, followed by 4 backwards roll to support, 7 deficit handstand push-ups at a 10-inch deficit, and we're going to book in it at the end at 25 more thrusters at 100 pounds.
That's right, Taylor. What an exciting match this has been. I spoke a little bit too soon, as I said earlier, but the Wild were able to really pull it out and close that deficit. I've never seen anything like it, I have to be honest with you.
Oh my goodness, I have. And like even though it's like 0-1, 0-1, I'm like, you cannot count anybody out until you get to the sprint relay. Of course, it's too far. They're too far behind to come back there, but they made a statement. Like, even though they're not at full strength right now, now that they're not just giving up.
Yeah, totally. And you totally called it too, Taylor. Shout out to you, because you said it. Oh, there's 2 matches, and ladder is where it splits, and after ladder, that's a totally new match, and you totally called that. And it's something that they were able to do.
And honestly, this happened to us with the Orlando Aces against the Wild. They beat us from the partner 4 all the way until the ladder, and then we turned back around and we actually had Darren Lasso, who came in and sleep hit him with the night on the triple unders, and then we barely missed out to make it to the finals, the championship, because of clerical error on our end. So, but which shows that we were just as competitive on that second half.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like there's something going on with Tyler Billington on the grid. I'm sure they're going to be needing him for some of these specialty movements for sprint relay, but it looks like his forearms are a little bit blown up, or he's feeling it maybe in his wrist, traveling from the forearm. It's that axle bar, and I'm so impressed with the way that he handled that thing before they kicked him off of it too.
Oh, he's a bodyweight specialist, and so that bodyweight specialist these days doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Because these bodyweight specialists have been all over the floor, handling the barbell wherever they're needed. A lot of teams are short because some athletes weren't able to come here on travel, but that's why they always say stay ready. Stay ready. Just because you can't, just because you're not slated to do something in here, doesn't mean you're not going to have to do it later on.
Agreed. And I'm sure we're going to see Tyler Billington. If I had to guess, I'm saying they're sending him out for the backward roll to support. But it's going to be an interesting one to see how they fare against each other in this sprint relay. Because not only is it doing what you do the fastest, it's running fastest to the finish line. That's why it's called the sprint relay.
Exactly. You have to be clean. Like, we've seen a lot of teams, they were coming back, they started off strong, but then the other side, they just stay clean to stay with it. And we've seen several reruns or gridlocks over the weekend. So you have to make sure that even if you're behind, stay with it, stay clean, make sure you're just executing.
Yeah, execution is the #1 thing to remember here. There's 30 seconds on the clock until the end of this race, friends. I mean, we are almost there. Grid's regular season is coming to a close after this race. How sad is that?
I'm so sad, especially this weekend. It's been so exciting.
It's been so exciting. I'm sad to see some of these teams go, especially these 2 teams. We won't see them again in the playoffs or the championships, but they are fighting like all heck right now. And we're going to see it come together right now in this sprint relay. Let's see it.
Stand by. Race.
25 thrusters at 100 pounds on a woman's bar, by the way. So it could be anybody. Whoever finishes that last rep has to be the one that goes to the finish line, though. So a lot of times you'll see men do a lot of the work and then hand it off to the women for them to finish and hit that 4-point touch to go to the finish line. It has to be 4 women, 4 men going to that finish line.
And I am looking at the Wild. I think this is our first time seeing Tanner Hodge in this match. And so it's really good to have fresh legs coming for these thrusters. These thrusters are brutal. So and we may or may not see him at the end, don't know, but he's definitely coming in fresh. And you're going to always see both teams finish up with a woman.
That's right. Sydney Wilson with a strong sprint relay finish. Sam Secord not too far behind. Bryn Carrick is going to be coming out for the Wild. She is the first to the bar. It's going to be 25 pull-ups. The standard is your chin has to be over the bar. You can do them however you want. Remember, this is not for a fitness test. It is a speed test. Riley Hansen, hers almost look like she is just like doing, I don't know what she's doing, but they look crazy over there. Wow.
I know. Bryn Carrick, she said that she is a CrossFit athlete, and Riley is a CrossFit, but she's also been doing grid for a long time. So her cycle speed was definitely a lot faster. But
yeah, Go ahead.
Bryn did a great job of just staying with it, and they both finished at the same time.
Yeah, it was great. Bryn Carrick was able to control herself on the 4-point touch. Briley slipped a little bit, but Devin Breakovich on these dumbbells. Wow, Atul Cabral on the other side. Devin Breakovich having just a little bit less of a range of motion here, but it looks like he's able to catch up.
Oh man, I love seeing Artur. Like, you see Artur, like, he's the biggest guy in grid, the longest guy in grid, but he does not care. He's like, put me all over the grid. So he has the longest distance to travel with the dumbbells, but he's still they're making great work at this.
Yeah, Devin Breakovich able to finish for the Wild, making up some time. And here comes Matt Cable with that farmer carry. That is that is 215 pounds on each hand. That's crazy.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Unfortunately, Brandon, there's a fall. You have to take it back to the last hash mark. Brandon Shipper losing time for the Palms. Oh, no, with a little slip up. That is so unfortunate. Oh, it's hard to get going once you stop. But
I blame it on the hat.
Yeah. Vilma Gray. Sorry, I almost called her Rosario. She got married. Vilma Gray, she is crushing it on these burpees, making up some time for the Wild. The Wild really needed to pull this one out to close that differential just a bit. But Vilma's going to hit that 4-point touch before she goes over to the finish line. Wow, this is turning the tides over here, Taylor.
And this is why you say you always got to finish strong. And this is a great showing, but anything can still happen. We see where athletes they kind of mess up here, but Tyler is strong. He's very consistent. I don't think he's going to have any issues. You can see that he's taking his time at the top to show control, lock out, and then he finished it up.
Yeah, Tyler Billington showing such control, and he's hurt right now. Not sure what exactly happened there, but he totally showed off. Loredana Nirola doing a great job on the other side as well, but the Palms are behind after that farmer carry. It looks like Carrie Billington, those handstand push-ups, is not who you want to see on the other side. 1 rep remaining, and she is finished before the Palms even start. Edgar Cancina going pretty fast over there for a man on the other side as well. And it looks like David McKellar is going to be coming out to do that 25 thrusters at 100 pounds before Edgar Cancina even finishes. And David McKellar has some ground to make up here. It looks like it's going to be Dmitry Kaganovich over there, single day sign for the Palms. He's going pretty darn fast over there as well, might I say. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Can they keep up that speed? If he does, he might be able to keep up here.
David McKellar, he's too far ahead, and that's a strong guy over there. So he spent the first 2 matches focusing on weightlifting. It's so good to see him back on the grid. He is not going to put this bar down.
Definitely 1 rep remaining for David McKellar, and David McKellar is going to hit that 4-point touch. He better hit that sprint. I know you're a weightlifter, but you better move it. And the Wild are going to finish the sprint relay ahead of the South Beach Palms. Slow motion, David McKellar. Great job, dude.
7 days to prepare. He just finished. He just came from nationals. He thought he had 2 weeks, but he realized that it was this week, and so he only had 7 days to get some kind of conditioning in.
What a guy. And the South Beach